Hey guys, I am Nishant and welcome to Cybernetico. So in this video, we will create one React AI app. So I got the idea from this OpenAI API and from ChatGPT. So we cannot use ChatGPT currently in some JavaScript or React app, but we can use all of these items which is inside the examples. So you can use all of the items to create one fully functional AI app in JavaScript or in React or Angular as well as you want. So I have only used this for example like Q&A, grammar correction, this that. So let me give you how this works. So first you have to choose this or any option. Like if you choose Q&A, this will give you answer based on your knowledge, on this knowledge from the AI. So let's type something like who is Narendra Modi? Question mark. Do your stuff. If you click this, this will give you the answer like this. Narendra Modi is the current Prime Minister of India and all of the other things. Now the next item should be this grammar correction. But in this example, we have to specify what we need to do. So let me just open grammar correction tab here. So it goes like this. We need to type this, correct this to standard English, followed by the wrong option. So let's say we type something wrong. He gone to the market to buy stuff he should need. Let's type something random. Should not need. Now if you click this do stuff or do your stuff, let's see what we get. We will get the correct answer for this correction. Like he has gone to the market to buy things he does not need. So we have all these like movie to emoji, explain code, and JavaScript to Python. And you can also add the other items as well. The list is too big. So you can create your own app in React to do all of these items. Like a chatbot type thing, which will maybe replace ChatGPT one day. Maybe it will not, but fine. So it's a great project for your portfolio. So go ahead and build it and like the video as well to make this reach out to other people. So in this setup, I have a Wait React app with nothing. So it's all empty, but we have a commented console log here. So if we uncomment this, you will see the OpenAI API key here. So let me show you. Let me bring it down here. Okay, now see, this is the API key that we have in the console. So let me just comment it out. Fine. So to get this key, you have to create a ANY file here, and you have to add this string wait OpenAI key and this API key from OpenAI API. To get the API key, simply go to openai.com/API. If you don't have any account here, sign up or else just log in. So let me log in and show you the API key, the source. So you have to enter the email and this check. So we need all the cars. Verify. Continue. Then let me enter the password and continue. So we will see this page. Now to get the key, just go to this this personal and view API keys. Here you have these keys. You can create a key and get started. To click the or to see the usage, you can simply go to manage account. Here you will see the usage. So I have used $0.67 of my account from my account. The total amount I have is $18, which is free. Fine. And it expires on March 1 of the next year. So that out of the way. Now let me go to the home page. So we need to create an AI app in React similar to what we have in ChatGPT. So let me open ChatGPT. So we cannot use this in our React app for now or in JavaScript app because we don't have the capability to integrate it. It's just something exemplary, or we can say it is what is it? What is the word? It is for preview usage. Yes. So if we click the examples, we will see all of these categories like Q&A, grammar correction. So we can use all of these into our React app. So let me show you how to do that. So first, let me create a component here, or first a folder called components. In this folder, let's create two files. First will be option selection .jsx, and second component will be let's say what can we call it? So let's say what can we call the component? Let's say translation, because here we will translate the component. So JSX like this. And so we have two components here. Let me close this. So now what we have to do in this option selection, we have to create all of these options like this we see. So make a functional component here and simply call or render the component inside app.jsx into a main component like this. Fine. Now if you see the app, we will see this text here. So let me remove this. Just let me remove this div and make a fragment from React. Inside, let's make an h1 tag for the heading, which says React AI app in bold letters. If you want to get some fonts, just head over to fonts.google.com and get some fonts from here. Just paste this inside your CSS. So let me just remove all. Let me select Poppins because it's my favorite font. So we can select regular 400, italic, simple font, medium 500, and that's all. So just copy all this using clicking this icon here, this icon, selected families, and just do what? Just copy this import and paste this inside the app.css at the top. So we can remove all of these because we don't need all of these. Fine. So remove, and to get the text from h1 or in this font, we can add a class name and say heading. Inside this, we can say heading and font family Poppins. Save, and this will be now in Poppins font, just like that. Fine. Now we need to create all these menu items like small tabs. So it's better to create one array, some mock data. So we can say let's create a folder called grid, or let's say AI options. In this we can say index.jsx, sorry, not JSX, let's say JSON, or what should we call it? Let's say JSX. Fine. JavaScript file, and then say const array items, which will contain all of these items in an array object. So we can say name, this will be Q and A. So I will not use all of these items, I will just use a few of them like Q&A, grammar correction, text to command, and all. So we can say name, then let's say ID will be, let's say Q question and A, like this. Fine. Let's say some description. In here we will say answer questions based on existing knowledge. Fine. So just like that, we can create a lot of these, as much you can want or you want. So I have added a bunch of these into the React app from this list. You can add more if you want, but I have already, or I have just added 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 pieces. So let's get the array items into our app.jsx. But first we have to export this array items. Now we can simply do import array items from AI options from that file. Okay. Now we can simply console.log to check what we are getting in the console. So you will see we are getting 7 items in the array. Now we can traverse through each item. So let's just add the array items inside, or just pass it as props into option selection, because here we will select the option. Fine. Now let me just map all these items. So we can say we need to create a grid. So we can say div first. Inside, let's map it. So array items dot map. Let's say item. So we can say return an empty fragment. In this, we can simply have an h3, which will be the title of that particular item. So we can say item dot, let's say, what is the key name that I have added? The key name is called name. So item dot name, and second will be p tag item dot description. We will get all these items according to the array. Now all we have to do is to make them in a grid. So we can say div class name, let's say grid main. So we can just copy this and add it here. Grid main, display of grid. Then we can say grid template columns auto and auto to make them 2 in a row. But something is wrong here. Okay, let me open that index.css, and I have to remove something from here, I think. So let me remove all of these except this one. But why it is failing? So I guess we have to add a div here. Yes, now it's working. If we remove div, it will not be proper, but if I add a div, it will be properly rendered. So we are getting this fine. Now in this div, give this a div a class name of, let's say grid child, because it's a child, like every item is a child here for the grid. So we can say grid child, let's add a border, or what we have here is nothing. So what can we do? Let's make this an h4 to make it a little bit smaller. Fine. So we can say grid child. In this, let's say grid child h4. Let's add font family Poppins and font weight 600. Fine. What if we add 700? We need to make them bold, but it's fine. Now in grid child p tag, we need to add Poppins, but we need to decrease the font size. So we can say font size, let's say 15 pixels. Let's remove this and make 500. It's not getting refreshed, but why? Let's add 12. Yes, now it's working. So basically, let's make this an h3 and revert this back to h3 to make the text bigger. Fine. I think that's fine. Looking fine. Now let's add a border. So grid child border 1 pixels solid white smoke color, like this. We can also add a gap between all the items. So say gap 10 pixels or 15 will be fine as well. Now we need to make these what is it? We need to make the border curved or rounded. So we can say border radius 15 pixels as well. Now they are curved. What if we make this 2 pixels? Yes, now it looks fine. So also we can add some padding to string the items like this. Now it looks much better. We have React AI app title and this. Also let's add margin top 20 pixels to shift them from the top at 20, but margin top 20, let's add 30 or 40. Now it's fine. Yes, it's working fine. Now what we need to do is, or let's do something like this. So if you hover the titles or this card, we should see a highlight option. So we can say first cursor pointer. Now if you hover them, we'll see this pointer cursor here. Now in the grid child, we can say dot grid child hover. In this, we can say background color as white smoke and color as 212121. Now if you save, and if you now hover the items, we will see this kind of thing, which is, I think, great. Fine, but something should be checked here. So in app.css, we are having all of these items: max width, margin, text align, center, app index.css. Okay, this is the problem here. We have to remove font size from here. Okay, nothing happened. Okay, leave it. Fine. So we are seeing this ugly looking items. Now what needs to happen is, in this example, so let's say you open the first one called Q&A. So we have a response. We have this response which has model, prompt, temperature and all. So we have to make them default for each item. So to do that, we need to create a function, or we can do this as well. So in this app, in this array of objects, we can add the model using an object. So we can say option. Let's add option, and this will be an object. So for this Q&A, we have to copy all of these and paste it here and save. But the problem is it will not work like that. So I guess we have to do it from here. We have to send it from here directly. So we can say, let me remove this console log, and then we can say const select option. Fine. We have a arrow function which will take option value. I mean option param. We can pass. Okay, I think that's fine. We have to pass this function as props to this component option selection. So let's get it here. Fine. Now if you click this child, we should trigger this. So we can on click this select option. But I guess I have to add the items as options here. Only then it will work. So let's add this. Just remove the prompt because this will be dynamic, except the rest. So let me add this for now. So what will happen is, if we click this select option function using on click, we should send this item dot this key option. So let's do that. Item dot option. Now in here, in the app.jsx, we can simply console.log this option like this. Now let's see what happens if you click Q&A at the top. We are getting all of these, but we still need one text area or input field for these items. So let me show you what I mean. So click this, click open in playground. We need something like this. a text area. Okay, like this we need. Fine. So what can we do? So in this other component, translation.jsx, let's create it. So rfc, let's save this and let's say import translation from this component and just render it out here. Translation. And we will see it here if you close the console. But we need to see the translation only when we have selected the option. So let's create one state here. So let's say const, let's say option and set option equals to use state and it will be an object. So we can set it here like this when we click or trigger the function. So if we check in the console this option initially, we should get nothing, I think. So let's see. See, we are getting this object and it's empty. So to check if it is empty, we have to convert this into an array. So we can say wrap this inside one parenthesis and say object dot values, and it will convert it in an array of values from this. And we can say length. If you refresh, we will see length is 0. It means the array is empty or we have nothing inside this object. If you clear it and click again, it will be 7 because we will have 7 items inside the array. To check, we can simply do this. See, we will have 7 items. So we need to show this translation component only when we have something inside this object. So we can say wrap this inside a curly bracket to make it conditional. So we can say object dot values dot option, object dot values option length. If it is 0, we need to show this component. Else we need to show translation. Wait, if it is 0, okay. So refresh. If you click Q&A, you will see this component now, translation. So inside this, let's add a text area. Text area from HTML. We have this. So we can style this. So the class name text area. We can also specify the row and columns. So we can say columns, let's say 4. Too small, let's say 40. And now that's fine. We can increase it, make it 80. Fine. This looks fine. And let's also add some rows to increase the height. So let's say 40 as well. Okay, 40 is too much. Let's add 30. Okay, 20. 20 is fine. We can now type it inside it. So in the text area, we have to change the font size. So to make the font bigger, so we can say text area font size, let's say 20 pixels. Now we have this and it works fine. So if you are making this font size 20, so we have to decrease the column. So let's say 60 or 30. 30 small, let's say 40. 40, what about 50? 50 is fine, but what about 60? 60 is too much. It is going out of the screen. 50 is fine. Also make this as 10. Now this looks fine, correct. Fine. Also we can add a little bit padding here. So we can say padding 10 pixels. Now we have this cool looking text area. Let's add the font size, font family as Poppins to get the font in Poppins. We can also make this 55. Yes, now it works fine. So this is done. Now we need a button to translate. So let's add it, like to trigger the function. So we can say button and say do your stuff. Now save. Let's style the button. So the class name, let's say action button, action BTN. In the CSS, style this. We can say width 200 pixels, height 50 pixels, and font size 20 pixels. Fine. Let's add margin top 20 pixels, and that's all. Also cursor as pointer. Now we have this and this. Now the options are here. Now if you click or refresh the page, we will see this page. Click this, we will see this thing. If you refresh, or let me do one more thing as well. So in this translation, let's also add one more button to reset all of this. So we can say button reset, 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 reset. Add the class name here. But I guess we don't need that for now. So let's leave it. Remove the button. You can just refresh the page. Fine. So if you do your stuff, this should trigger a function, correct? So let's say console, sorry, const do stuff. And in this function, let's do something later. So just first pass it inside this translation component as props. Receive it here and make on change, sorry, on click this function. Also create one more state for the input. So we can say const input and set input. So use state and string, pass this as well here in translation component, receive it or destructure it. Then on this input of text area, we can say on change. We can say it will take a param called e or event, and we can say, or we can just store event.target.value inside this input. Now if you type something and check this state called input, let's see what we are getting. Open the console and type something, and we're getting it here. So let's say we type hello, we will get hello here like this. Now we are passing, let me open this, we are passing all of the options here in this function called option. So this is the object, so we can append this option, like all of these options, with this text area input to make the full set of this, to make a full set of this using prompt. So we can simply destructure this. So we can say options comma, let's say prompt, and prompt will be this input. Fine. So if you now console.log the option, let's see what we are getting. So open the console like this. Options are here, but the prompt is empty. See, if you type something like Nishant here, you will see prompt is still empty. Okay, wait. So we need to set this in options. Okay, let's do this. Let's console.log this inside this do stuff. Now if you click do stuff, you will see this, and prompt is still empty. Yeah, so I made a mistake. So what we need to do is we need to set the options from this array object when we click the card. Now if you console.log this, let's see what we're getting. So we're consoling the option. So click this and we will get all these, but we don't have prompt here. So when we need to use the prompt or set it in this do stuff function. So we can do it like this. Now if you type something in this text box, you will see this prompt here. Now click the button, do stuff, and you will see the prompt. This. So let me start again. So initially, this will be empty object. See, if you click this card Q&A, we will get all of the items, but not the prompt. Now click Nishant or add Nishant here. You will see nothing. But if you click the do stuff button, we will see the prompt here as Nishant. So we are now having the full set of the items. Now all we need to do is translate this here. So let me copy all of these items. So copy this configuration and OpenAI. Okay, I need to install this as well because I didn't install it. So we can say go to this tutorial. How to install this? Introduction. Quick start tutorial. No. Let's say examples, playground, API reference, overview. Let me figure out how to install this because I have forgotten. So to install this, simply open terminal and add this. So npm I open AI, enter, and it will install the OpenAI into our project. That's all. Check the package.json to see if it has been installed or not. See, fine, version 3.1.0. So close the terminal. Now we need to go back to this quick start tutorial. Okay, not this. Try examples. Yes, try Q&A, and now we need all of these items from OpenAI. So we can import this. So we can say let's import them at the top. So we can say import something from OpenAI, and inside we can add configuration and OpenAI API. Then we need to create the instance for this configuration just like it says here. So let's create it here, and this will take the API key. So we can simply cut the API key from here and paste it. The next step is to create instance of this OpenAI using the API key and this configuration. So add it here. That's done. And now we need to do is this. So in this function, we need to do all of the items. So we don't need to set options here. We can simply create one object. So let's say let object equals to these items. So cut this and paste, remove the state, and if you now console this options or option, let's see the result. No, not option, sorry, object. Now let's check this, click this, nothing will happen. Add some text like hello. Now enter or press this button. You will see these items. So prompt is hello and all the items that we are getting. Perfect. Fine. So in this function, we have to add the response, and we have to make the function as async like this for asynchronous JavaScript. Now we need to pass the object here, not these items. So you can remove this object parenthesis and simply say object. Now if you console.log, this is response. Let's see what we get. So just say clg response, and I think it will work now. So let's start from the beginning. Let's copy some question. Let's say this. Let's paste it and see what we will get. Click this, paste this question, and say do your stuff. So it will take some time. So now we are getting it. Yes, so now we are getting it. If you open data, we will see the choices. In the choices, we will have the text. So let me just do response.data.choices 0th index.text. Now we will get the entire text only, not some other thing. So try again and you will get this. Now let's create one state called result. So we can say const result and set result equals to use state empty string. Now we have to store this response inside this state and pass this as props. Now you have to get the props in the translation.jsx and add the text after this text area. This. So let's do that. So I have added this result.length. If it is less than 0, sorry, more than 0, we will see result, else we will see nothing or empty string. I have also added the model, temperature and all the options in other objects as well, like grammar correction, like this. Now all we need to do is just try this. So refresh the page. Let's try grammar correction, which is after Q&A, which converts the wrong English to standard English. So let's try this. Do your stuff and we will get this correct answer. So let's try something else. My name A Nishant, not is, we have typed A. Now click do your stuff. We will see the both texts here. She did not go to the market. My name is Nishant. If we add one space or enter, let's see what we get. We will get same thing. It will not be separated by spaces. So I think we have to do this. One space. I think that's how we get space here. No, it's backslash, not forward slash. Do your stuff. Okay, it's not working fine. Doesn't matter. So that's how it works. If you add one only, it will give you one. Now let's try other ones like what is this? JavaScript to Python code translator. So open this JavaScript to Python. Let's copy this code and add it here. Now click do your stuff. Let's see the output here. So we will get the Python code, but without indentation. So that's fine because I have not added indentation here. So we have an array called dogs and we're pushing all the dogs for each into this car array. Dogs into car array. So in the Python, we can simply do append.dog and this is how it works. Fine. So I think this is done. So we can say translation of English to other languages. So let's try this one at last. All right. Where is it? Let's see. Let me search for this. English to other languages. Okay, this is here. So let's see this. Translate this into French, Spanish and Japanese. So this text will be translated into 3 items. So do your stuff. You will see this one is, I think, French. This one is Spanish and third one is Japanese. So it is working. So that's how we create. Now you can also create one React AI app that does all of these things dynamically. It can explain code or convert the code to Python from JavaScript or summarize for second grader and give it some answers. So you can go ahead and create this. And I think that's all. Like the video and subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for watching the video.